Joining us now is head men's basketball coach over at George Mason, Tony Skinn. Coach, thanks for making time. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Trying to find some of the sun that seems to be upon us today, man. But I'm doing okay. Thanks for having me on.
Let's hope everything melts, Coach. Honestly,
we got a long ways to go.
Let's start right there. You're in the middle of a basketball season where your boys got to travel all over the place, get to practice. How has the weather impacted you?
You know what? It hasn't impacted us. I believe our game when the storm came in, when we went to Rhode Island to go play, we flew back just in time, and that night is when the storm just ended up coming. But it hasn't really affected us so far. So far, so good.
That's good to hear.
Hey, Coach, you say all y'all in one place. Y'all better get to practice.
Exactly.
Look, it's not like they all over the place now. Coach like, look, y'all right here in the middle of this thing. Y'all don't get over here to this gym, we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah, I mean they're basically on campus, man, and these guys, they don't have anything else to do except for go to class, which is now online. So it's not as if they actually have to be outside, man. So for sure.
Coach, let's talk about the year you guys are off to. I mean, you are playing great basketball in Fairfax, 20-2 on the season, 8-1 in the conference. Now, let's be honest. When the year started, you probably liked the squad you had. Did you think you had this kind of team?
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, I'm not that coach, man. I'm gonna be as honest as I can be. When we put this team together after the season we had last year, you think about a 27-win team. You lose everybody, and you bring back one player, which is Braden O'Connor. He was the only production we had from that last year's team, and then he goes down, breaks his foot at the very, very first game. And I just remember looking at our staff and just, we're going to have to figure this thing out, but it just got harder because this is an all-conference guy that we just lost. And the one thing that I've said before, and I'll continue to say, when we put this team together, we knew the type of kids we brought in, very, very coachable. Just a bunch of really, really, really good kids. And I told myself I was going to enjoy coaching these guys. I don't know how many games we'll win, but I'll enjoy coaching them just because I think they're phenomenal kids, man. And it's been a big reason why we've been successful.
But as you begin to go through practices and seasons, you begin to see that you have a little something. What was that you saw that you say, you know what, we can galvanize around this and make some things happen?
Yeah, I think just for me, in the 3 years, this is my third year now at George Mason. It's a ball screen offense. In our first year and our second year, we've had to kind of makeshift who our point guard and our playmakers were. They weren't natural point guards or natural playmakers. Braden O'Connor for us last year played the point just because we kind of had to do it, but he's never played the point. He never played the point prior to that last year. We made it work. And this year, when we brought in, Corey Mincy, when we brought in, Jamari Fat Hill, when we brought in Jahari Long, I knew that we were going to have just better guards and better playmaking and better decision-making within our offense. And so that, as a former point guard myself, that made me sleep a little bit better from an offensive standpoint. And so it's no secret that, our offense this year, it's been the best offense from a metric standpoint, I believe, since 2011 here at George Mason. And so that always helps.
What does it mean for you to be coaching at your alma mater where, the ultimate success, the true Cinderella story of DMV basketball maybe ever was that Mason Final Four run, and now you're back there leading this team to what sure looks like a tourney team. You don't want to put the cart before the horse, but you guys are playing really good ball.
It means the world to me, man. It's such a blessing to be here at a place that gave me an opportunity as a player, and then years later, decades later, gave me another opportunity as a coach. Mm-hmm. I say it all the time, man. If there's a Ken Palm score of happiest coach in America, I think I'd be top 5, top 10. To be able to just do it with the people that we're doing it with, the players we're doing it with, our leadership, Dr. Washington. Our athletic director, Marvin Lewis, it's a blessing, man. I'm just so happy to be here to be able to do it at a place that, so special to me.
Looking at the stuff that you all did with the squad you had back then and, had this whole area lit up. The people that probably didn't even cheer for George Mason was cheering for George Mason at that point. How do you take that experience and what you took from that run to help out this squad?
It's the one thing that I try to get. You hear so much conversation about the Final Four, what we did 20 years ago. It's one of the reasons why I named this team Team 60, just because I wanted these guys to kind of understand, like, yes, there was a lot of good things that happened 20 years ago, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. But I want these guys to also have their own experience and be able to make their own memory and be able to create their own legacy. And as good as that team was 20 years ago, that team wasn't 20-2. That team wasn't, playing in the Atlantic 10 and now at 8-1, having a chance to win this league and just, continue to create that culture and set that standard. And so for Team 60, I mean, they've already accomplished something that we didn't. And so just for them to just kind of understand there is history, but they can continue to compete and make their own history and separate themselves in that conversation.
George Mason men's basketball coach Tony Skinn, kind enough to join us via the Rude Guest Hotline. I'm going to run through some facts for you, Coach. The 20-2 start is the best overall in George Mason history. Fastest team to 20 wins in school history. Also started 6-0 in A-10 play. Now 8-1 in the A-10 for the second straight season. You guys are doing it. 14 at home, 14-0 this season at home, and 46-5 at home at the Patriots Center. What is that home crowd like for you?
I've been there sometimes.
Yeah, man. It bumps.
Oh, yeah, no. Listen, our home crowd has been phenomenal since I took this job. Patriot pressure is kind of the standard of the way we guard, the way we defend. We've been one of the better teams defensively all 3 years, but Patriot pressure is also our sixth man. Playing in this building, when this thing gets rocking, it's an unbelievable place to play. And you're right, we are 14-0. I gotta knock on some wood, man, because we got a lot of games left.
Sure. That's a coach right there, man.
Yeah, no. Listen, we've got 5 conference games left, and it's against the better teams in our league. So hopefully we can keep that thing flawless. But our support system here has been phenomenal. And I just think, again, when you're trying to create a culture, man, you don't create it with, fancy words and slogans. You do it with the people, and then, the people have been here and they'll continue to just have our backs. It's a tough place to play for sure.
If you want to get out to Mason, they've got back-to-back home games coming up. They play Duquesne tomorrow night, Wednesday night. Then they take on St. Joe's Saturday afternoon. One thing I could say is going to a Mesa game or like an AU or a GW game, like they are great family experiences because the price point is way lower, but you still get all the fun stuff, the T-shirt toss, the band, like it's a blast, and I'm glad that's reflecting for you, Coach. I did want to ask specifically about the way you coach your team to play defense specifically. Tell everybody about, I don't know if you know this one, B, the teeth chain, Coach.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, the teeth change it was just an idea. I was just sitting there, again, from a metric standpoint, we had one of the best teams in the country last year defensively. And when I say in the country, we're like 5th behind like Houston, Florida, teams that were playing for a national championship. We had a guy by the name of Jared Billups, who was Defensive Player of the Year. And arguably, both as a player and as a coach, he's probably the toughest guy that I've ever been around. He really set the standard of who we were defensively last year. But when you lose a player like that, you find yourself yearning for the same defensive-minded type of team. And we're pretty good defensively. We're top 2 in our league in most metrics. But there was a point in time in our season where I just thought we needed to get better. If we were going to do what I think we can do this year, we got to make sure that, no matter what type of night we're having offensively, defense is going to always keep us in the game. And I just remember just kind of watching film, watching us, and I just felt like we're not playing with enough moxie. We're not playing with enough teeth. And I texted one of my GAs and I said, listen, man, I want you guys to make me a teeth chain because I want to be able to give it away to, who I thought embody what that teeth looks like. And it's something we've been talking about for months, but I wanted to just put a visual with it, man. And it's actually been awesome and just an added motivation for our guys.
What does it look like? I tried to find a picture on social media and I haven't been able to. Is it like
it's
crocodile teeth or like what kind of teeth?
No, it's literally It's a nice chain with the word teeth on it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just.
I thought you have those guys running around like Crocodile Dundee with the big tooth on it.
No. It's the word spelled out. Pretty big, man, but it's pretty cool.
Okay, that's awesome, man.
It's something to like. That's the thing. Like I said, it's something they can galvanize with. Something that brings them together and make them want to go out. They want to earn it. I know that.
Yeah, no, they go crazy, man. And again, the teeth. It's not necessarily like an MVP of the game, the guy that scored 20. We've given away the Teeth Award for a guy that played 5 minutes, but in his 5 minutes, he was a difference maker and he impacted the game. And so the guys love it.
Yeah. Coach, I like to think, I wasn't much of a hooper, but like I could win a tooth award, especially if you only had to play like 3 minutes. That might be really kind of where I.
You one of those guys, huh?
No, all he wants to do is shoot, Coach, from 3-point.
It's a fact, Brian. I don't know why you had to bring it up. Coach, I did lead the country in 3-point shooting percentage, probably 1997.
1 for 1. Tell me that's not enough tries.
Okay. It's a great stat, man.
But I am curious for you, Coach. Like you're a DMV guy. Went to Tacoma Academy. Obviously, there's a lot of great hoops in this area, but it's a big world, and you can't just rely on local. Like, how do you divide up kind of your recruiting time, especially now in the era of the portal and NIL and everything else?
Yeah, no, I mean it's I've been fortunate enough to where through my my coaching journey, I've just built some relationships really all over the country. I've got a great staff. They're very well connected. And you're right, I'm biased because we're from the DMV. A lot of guys that we're going to recruit, we're going to always have a chance just because it is what it is. Guys go on to play at, high major programs. When they come back, if they're dropping down, typically we're right there and we're going to always have a chance. But, again, we have the history. We've done it in the past. We'll continue to do it now and setting that standard. And so for me, I don't think it makes a difference. It can be overseas. It can be in California. If a guy fits us, we're going to recruit him.
Coach, how has that really changed your coaching with the portal and all those different type of things? Did you just adjust with it, or do you lean towards it?
I'm a young cat in the business, man. I think that's the part that people forget, man. This is my 10th year in coaching. The portal came alive, 6-7 years ago, and that's kind of what I went into. And so for me, it's like boxing, man. I'm the young prize fighter, man. And even though the rules are changing, this is kind of what I know, and I'm used to it. So I don't complain about it at all. The portal's been good for us. It's a two-way street. You're going to lose guys, and you're going to be able to go get guys. And so we take that on as a staff. And, like I said, I'll give credit to my staff just because, the portal could be dangerous because you really don't know what you're getting. It's, speed dating in a sense. But a big reason why we've been good is just because we did a really good job evaluating not the type of players, but also the type of human beings that, you start throwing NIL and stuff like that in your locker room, man. You put the one wrong guy in that locker room, man, and it doesn't matter what we're doing as coaches, man. You're already defeated. And so I love the portal, man. It's been good to us.
That's great. Coach, I wanted to let one of our producers ask you a question. Our guy, White Brian, is a big Auburn fan.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Coach, speaking of players from that portal, last year, KD Johnson comes over. He was not only one of my favorite players, but probably one of the fan favorites in Auburn basketball history. I was just wondering what it was like coaching him.
Oh, man, so I didn't have any gray hairs until last year. I've got like 17 of them. But you know what? KD Johnson, man, he was as competitive as they've, been made before, man. He is a big reason why we won 27 games last year. I recruited him prior to him going to Georgia when I was at Seton Hall. So I had a relationship with him. I knew what I was getting. And, you got a chance to watch him at Auburn, man. He's an entertaining guy. He's an entertaining human being. But more importantly, he learned a lot. And I learned a lot coaching him, because it wasn't easy. But we got through it. And, I know it helped us and it helped him for sure. But phenomenal player. Led the country in technical fouls last year.
He did at Auburn, too.
That's a spirited young man.
So you mentioned something. You said you learned a lot about coaching. I had this teacher who told me I made her a better teacher because I questioned everything. I was just that little irritating dude. How much do you learn from something? When you coaching different players, does it add to your coaching?
Yeah, 1,000%. I think that's the one thing I tell people all the time, man. We're sitting here as mentors, as leaders in this position, and it's a blessing. But it's a two-way street, man. All these guys are giving us something. You got to learn how to coach a different guy in a different way. The way you coach number 13 has got to be different than the way you coach number 5. And I've got personal relationships with all our guys. We all do as a staff, and so these guys are teaching us just as much as we're teaching them.
Coach, obviously everybody in the A10 is a rival, right? But it is unique in that within, a couple-hour drive, you've got VCU to the south, you got Richmond to the south, you've got GW, depending on traffic, should only be about 20 minutes, but might take you an hour. What's it like?
Especially with the snow.
I mean, good God, good luck. But what's it like having so many local or semi-local, conference foes that are right in your backyard?
Yeah, no, I think, it's the beautiful thing about being in the DMV, man. You're kind of sitting right in that melting pot of a lot of good basketball. And I'm appreciative for this opportunity just because, we're able to go down to Richmond twice. That's an hour and a half. We're able to go to GW right up the road. We're able to go to Philadelphia for 2 of our games. I would rather be coaching in a league where I don't have to fly 6 hours to play a game.
Yeah.
I think that's the beautiful demographic about our league.
All right. I know how coaches are wired, and your focus, if I had to guess, is on Duquesne tomorrow night. You got back-to-back home games. You got Duquesne, then you got St. Joe's coming in. Then you're on the road for 2 to Richmond and GW next Friday night. If you're a DMV hoop head, Mason GW next Friday night from the Smith Center is an awesome game to go to. But Coach, I can't help but look ahead. That's how I'm wired.
That's all he does.
The end of the season, hosting the St. Louis Billikens, who there is a lot of talk about St. Louis as a real upset potential team in the NCAA tournament. I was listening to Scott Van Pelt's podcast this morning, and he was talking about St. Louis. You get to host St. Louis in the conference in your regular season finale. What do you think the building will be like that day?
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting the building to do what it does, maybe with a little extra sauce because it's St. Louis.
They're ranked 19th right now.
Yeah, no, they're ranked. They're playing phenomenal basketball. I've got a great ton of respect for Josh over there, and they've got some really, really good players, some athletic guys that understand the game, and obviously Robbie Avila was preseason All-Conference Player of the Year, and so it's not a surprise. But I think for us, we've got to be able to run our own race. We've got to be able to control what we can control, and my hope is that game we're playing for something, whatever it is, whether it's for a league title, whether it's for a chance to get a quad 1 win. It's going to mean something for our resume and just putting ourselves in the best position to make the NCAA tournament. And so, again, we've got a gauntlet coming up, and so I don't want to think too much about St. Louis, but
I get it.
They're playing well and they're representing the league at a high level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff.
Well, Coach, I hope you have great crowds tomorrow night against Duquesne and this Saturday afternoon against St. Joe's. I know the Patriot Nation's out there for you. Last one. What do you think of the new logo? Because I like it. The GM with kind of the funky lettering.
Listen, I'm an old school guy, and so the old logo is still in my spirit, but the new logo is just as good for me, man. We're winning, man. So I'm a fan of the new logo as well. To be honest with you.
There you go. Long as you're getting the dubs.
Yeah, as long as you're winning, man. The logo looks a lot better.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't realize Robbie Avila's the kid from Indiana State a couple years ago.
Yep. We brought him with him.
Oh wow! All right, that dude can play, man. All right, we'll be watching.
Hey, good luck to you, Coach.
Coach, I'm hoping to get out there for NBC4 before one of these games. I know that your guy Mark has been really great for us, so I'll reach out to him when the time is right, and maybe we'll be able to do some TV stuff too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Appreciate you guys for having me, man.
All right, Coach. Take care, man.
You too, man. Good luck.
All right. Appreciate it.
Mason's balling, man.
Oh, yeah.
And that's...
Yeah. That place get loud, dude.
It would have been inappropriate to bring this up with Coach on the line, but he was an assistant in Maryland for 2 years. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything. I am just saying.
You crazy boy.
Also, White Brian points out the guy Robbie Avila that's balling at St. Louis. Mm-hmm. They call him Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Cream. I've heard about him.
No,
I've heard about him.
When I pulled his picture up, I was like, oh, that dude. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk some Super Bowl halftime shows. Nobody go anywhere.